Hey, let me ask you about the defense. I know you coach the inside linebackers, obviously, but in terms of the last few weeks, you played high-powered offenses, but gave up a lot of yards. It seems like you're throwing the ball quick. What did you look at when you looked at during the bye week, sort of what you guys need to get back to doing?
Just getting back to the fundamentals. Last couple of weeks, our techniques got a little sloppy. We had some big games, night games. Might have crept into their game and their mindset, but the techniques the last couple of weeks were a little sloppy. So during the bye week, we just, as a coaching staff, we just had to get back to the fundamentals of coaching technique.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to go over to Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Coach. Last year, Shaq Barrett had 19 and a half sacks, and I think a majority of those were on the right side. I asked him earlier this year why he was playing on the left and JPP was on the right. He said that was kind of their preference. But you switched them back for the Kansas City game, and it seemed to work out pretty well with both those guys having sacks. Shaq had the forced fumble. Can you just tell me what your thinking is going forward, and then looking back in terms of the production of JPP and Shaq?
Well, they both dominant on each side. If their preference, you always normally in 3-4 room, we start with the older guy, the more seasoned guy. So they had no problem with going right and left. But this past week, I seen, Mahomes like to scramble more, and Jason more tends to power rush and keep the quarterback in the pocket. And different between Shaq, he like to get on the edge and win, so he can get a little high at times. So I said, well, why don't you start on the right side? Interesting thing, Jason dealing with a little knee, but he looked strong on the left side. So maybe going forward, we might keep, they like going back and forth. Yeah. But whatever they're comfortable with, normally with favorable matchup as a coach, I try to tell them to tend to go to that side. But them guys, normally they control that.
And can you just speak to your coaching career? You started off, playing with Bruce Arians, obviously on different sides of the ball back in Pittsburgh, and then in Arizona, and then you made the leap right into coaching, just like a minute after you retired. And what this has been like being on BA's staff, and with Todd Bowles, and being reunited with Todd, and where you see your coaching aspirations.
Well, it was awesome. Me and BA hit it off way back in the Pittsburgh days where he was just a wide receiver coach, always fiery guy, and we always clicked off the field. And when he became a head coach my last year, I came out there and played out for him in Arizona. That's when I got to meet Todd Bowles. And, we won a lot of games. BA knew I was always above the neck type of guy when I was playing. As a player, I thought I was just the best athlete out there. But some coaches told me I stayed in this league long because I could think out there on the field. But it happened when Bowles left. Mike Caldwell went with him, and BA said, "No, you coaching my linebackers. I'm not letting you retire and go home." And I just slid right in there. Some of my former teammates I played with, Hines Ward, even Joey Porter, that's not the norm. Former players just slide in to get in your own room. That's not the norm. It just happened to happen that way for me. I thank God for it. And, my next step, I would love to be a coordinator in this league and to bring all my experience to the game. And I've been around a lot of great coaches, so just going to emulate what they taught me.
Thanks, Coach.
No problem.
All right, we'll go over to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, you've been a part of 2 Super Bowl winning teams, and with this squad right here fighting for a postseason berth, what is the attitude that this defense needs to have in these final 4 games? Not just when it comes to game time, but when it comes to practice each day.
Well, I share with my guys, my first Super Bowl, we were 7-2, lost 3 in a row. And we just had to, wipe the board clean and figure out the way to get into the playoffs. And we had that same point, each game is a playoff. And what happened in September, October, whatever happened last week, it don't mean nothing. You're just trying to get a ticket to the dance. And whoever believes and whoever's executing, they're going to be the Super Bowl champs. They don't care about your record. I know Tom Brady can speak to that. They was undefeated, lost in the Super Bowl. So it's just any given Sunday, but most importantly, you got to get a ticket to the dance.
You mentioned losing 3 games in a row there. How do you avoid kind of losing confidence as a defense when you have those consecutive losses, especially in games like the ones that you guys just played where, you lose by 3 points and it's like, every little detail seems to really matter in those games?
I mean, since I've been a rookie, every day this game tries to grab your confidence. It tries to grab it. You can't allow that. You got to be mentally strong. And if you want to be holding that Lombardi at the end of the year, you just got to clean the slate. You got to just get back to the basic, one play at a time, one day at a time, and keep on trucking.
Appreciate it, Coach.
No problem.
All right, we'll go over to Greg Allman.
Hey, Coach, I just want to ask you, in these last 3 or 4 games, what you've seen opponents do and adjust offensively to take away the pass rush, to adjust to what you guys have done so well in the first half of the season, and how you guys can kind of now adjust to that in response.
Well, all season long, I mean, when you play Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you see the guys we got on the end, you got to do something to slow them down. They can be chipping, sliding the front, getting the ball out your hands fast. And we've seen that with New Orleans. They can go quick game the whole time. My guys were so excited when we played the Rams because they're a deep play action team. The whole game, it was just quick games, a lot of gimmicks, a lot of jet reverses, screens, and whatnot. But you just got to keep playing. You got to keep playing, and the sacks will come. I know just the nature of that position I coach. Some guys want sacks. But I'm more proud of them because they keep their head, they keep their head in the game, and they continue to do what you can do. If you got to get interceptions like JPP, do whatever you got to do. But just come this week. Stop the run. Stop the run. The sacks will come. I know them guys, just the nature of it, like I said, they want sacks, but they will come. Just stop the run, and eventually you have opportunities to get the quarterback.
Thanks, Coach.
No problem.
We have time for a few more. We're going to go over to Scott Reynolds.
Larry, you're playing a Gary Kubiak offense this week with Kirk Cousins operating it, and you know what that means. It means a lot of play action, bootleg. And can you just speak to the discipline that whoever's playing, whether it's Shaq, JPP, Nelson, whoever, has to have with setting the edge in those rush lanes and not letting Kirk Cousins get outside the containment?
Well, the first part I showed him 33 and how fast he can strike a touchdown on you from anywhere on the field, and it starts with not only setting the edge but even backside. And 33 can put his foot down and hit his head on the goalpost. So I showed him all those runs. We got an extra day, and it's going to be paramount that them guys are disciplined. And the great thing is when you get that extra day, you can show all what not to do. It's on tape. And I'm not going to call out no teams, but some of those guys, the same position, they were just a little lazy, a little nosy. And, the boot, you got to react to the boot. Because if you anticipating and trying to guess boot, 33 will be on our free safety in the hiccup. So them guys got to do their job first, and we're going to react to the boot. But we got to stop the run. We got to stop the run, or it's going to be a long day.
And we've seen a lot of Shaq and JPP. They're your two money guys up front. But could you tell us about the development which you've seen this year from Anthony Nelson, who didn't play a whole bunch last year due to injury, but how he's progressed, and then also Cam Gill, the newcomer?
Well, Nelson kind of, Cam also, with, not having a preseason hurt them guys again. Nelson never even played in a preseason game. Last year he was hurt, and he's coming along. He's a great athlete. I mean, 6'7", the way he can move, and he has power too. So I'm very impressed with that, but he's getting better. The problem is he got 2 main dogs in front of him, and it's not that many snaps, and I got 2 alpha males that don't never want to come out. So, but he's progressing well, exactly what I thought he was going to do when he came out when we drafted him. Cam is just a young pup. He's a fire guy, starting to make plays on special team. I put a lot of pressure on him, like, you got to make a play every week. And he's just a sponge. He's a guy you love to coach because he brings so much energy coming from Wagner, a small school. So he's definitely the underdog, and he's accepting the challenge. But those guys are progressing well.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to close out with one question from Leo Haggerty.
Coach, you played arguably the best tight end last week in Kelsey. Rudolph isn't far behind in that category. How similar are they, and what problems do they possess for your linebackers?
They're big. They're big. They can obviously Rudolph probably a better blocker than Kelsey, so it's a more challenge for us in the run game. But those guys are big. They can definitely catch the ball. The catch radius is high. Rudolph poses a threat as far as, he'll knock your butt off the ball. So my guys gonna have to be fast and aggressive getting their hands on him. But he's a big, savvy tight end.
Okay, that's all for today. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.